Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Do something a little different in this video. I'm going to talk about, I went to another flare event like I did, believe it or not, it was 10 months ago. You can see that video up there where I talked about my first ever experience trying speed dating, which I also used flare events. But this event was a little different in terms of, it was technically called Falling For You Singles Mingle, as I definitely still feel I am not necessarily looking for the one, but I do feel like I still need to get out, or people like to say, put yourself out there and get some dating experience, as I find it gets a lot more difficult to date and meet people, especially reach middle age. Now I'm 42 years old. I mean, that speed dating event that I went to, it was actually the speed dating where you sit down at a table and have your 8-minute dates with the ladies, and then you write down your scorecard for yes or no. And I did not get any matches, but it's not that I was discouraged or just I didn't feel any sparks either. That group, or that event, it was ages 34 to 43, while this event, it was a wider age range, ranging from 25 to 45. So that was going to be interesting, and it was not a speed dating event, but it was more just kind of an organized gathering, I should say, because this event that I went to, the Falling For You Singles Mingle, this one was actually at the Residence Inn Marriott Hotel at downtown Calgary on 10th Avenue Southwest, and it was just on the second floor in that balcony cafe area, and it kind of had like a fall themed to it. And then there were different hostess for this one. I think they had 3 hostess, just like it did at the speed dating event, but there was more people that showed up, between males and females, and you see a wider variety of people at the ages. I mean, I mentioned 25 to 45, which that I'm not too sure. I mean, once again, I felt it was a fun night out, just to get out of the house. It worked out that same week. It was on a Saturday night, which that still limits me of my work schedule to going to these events, that it has to be on a night that works for me. Basically, Sunday to Thursday nights don't work when a lot of these flare events start at 7 o'clock and they go until 10. Well, it doesn't work for me when I have to be up at 4 or 5 in the morning for work to start at 7. But it was nice that it was finally one on a Saturday night, and I'm going to say, to be honest with you, I felt less nervous going to this event. I mean, I think the fact that I've already been to one speed date event, then you could say last month or almost 2 months ago, when I went to Toronto and stayed in a hostel, experiencing that, I feel that all this, I have slowly come out of my shell. Anyway, because I've always kept saying I've had social anxiety, especially with these environments, and feeling a little more comfortable. I mean, it wasn't awkward, but I felt this one for the singles mingle, it was a lot more flexible, but less structured than a speed dating. I guess it's kind of like comparing chicken to beef, because it's kind of like not dating, where it's on a personal level like a speed dating, but it was a mingle where you just talks amongst yourself. They do throw in like some icebreakers and games. What did feel a little weird when I checked in was they give everyone a colored bracelet. And I picked the one that most people have, there she was talking about, you know, what do you value most in love? And what I picked, and I think what easily 75% of the people picked that went to this event, was quality time. There was also touch. I think there was one about gifts. Another one about, I forget the other couple. But most people picked quality time. And it still felt like a loaded question, considering I personally have never been in a relationship or serious with anyone, or just have friends. And I feel that I need to go to more of these events when schedule and budget allows. I mean, it was still, this one seems a little cheaper than the speed dating, because I think the speed dating event that I went to was over $50 if I recall back last November. This one was just over $40, but, and then you have the overpriced drinks. At the hotel I just had a Diet Cola, but there was wine and beer if you wanted, but I want to generally avoid alcohol in these kind of settings because of, you don't want to have too much and potentially, you know, say something you don't want to say. But I just felt for this event, and they had like some certain games, or try to theme it, and you buy a drink and you're in for a raffle. I didn't win anything, but I still felt I had fun mingling. I definitely, it was both with men and women. I mean, it was not just strictly one or the other, and there was definitely a wide mix of people. I still felt most of the people who were there were, you know, younger. I mean, most of the people I seem to talk to were at least, you know, 10 years younger than me, and I know you have kind of that debate with age difference in relationships. I know part of me, for personal experience, that, I mean, being that I was the oldest in my family, kind of get clouded a bit when growing up. I mean, I'm 5 years older than my sister, and I always try to compare my sister and I are two totally different people. And then I've had a couple other cousins I saw a lot. One was 11 years younger than me, and another 14, and so it just, me and teenager growing up. Now I'm at that age where that same age difference is a little more acceptable, but I mean, if I were to find that special someone, I almost think it won't be that much of a gap. And I did feel that there was probably, I think, just as many people on the 25 end and the 45 end of the spectrum. And Flair says they usually try to give that 2-year leeway, but I mean, this was a totally different event. It was just basically being in a hotel conference area for this one. I know I've seen other events offered from Flair that, I mean, ultimately with these kind of events, it has to be what's offered between age range, obviously the date, and location. And so far, based on what I see in the Calgary market for like speed dating and kind of dating casual setting, that Flair seems to have been the best in terms of being able to have a variety of schedules, venues that's in a central area. It's just, you know, the time and budget and what's offered at the time, that still has been why it was 10 months. I mean, I keep seeing Calgary speed dating, but they only do it Sunday nights, and most of that time I'm working, and or have to work the next day. And I did see Tantra, but then once again, it's the, you know, the schedule and location being a little out of the way, not necessarily transit friendly. But I'm going to say Flair, I mean, I didn't find that special someone, but no one really did, I felt, at this event. And then also the fact that, you know, when you get older and you're still out at, you know, 9, 10 o'clock, that's when it starts feeling late. So you definitely still feel that difference where you're older compared to some others, but I still had a great time interacting with those that we're there. I know that the icebreakers, they asked questions like red flag, and we all had actual leaf represent fall. We all raised our leaf if we said yes to the question that the hostess was asking. I know I had no luck finding someone to win a prize for closest birthday. I didn't even find anyone there, believe it or not, that was even a Gemini. And oh yeah, there was another icebreaker game they did was blackjack, and I just couldn't find a group first to come up with 21, but it was like those kind of games. And then the raffles from the drinks, and I think someone won either, I think it was a distillery tour, some other gift card for I think a restaurant, and then the grand prize was like $100 for Greta. And Greta being that arcade bar, I've never been to Greta. I've been hearing more about more of these arcade bars, which might be appealing to me to go check out one time, to see the old vintage video games that I enjoyed back in the day. And I think even Flair events have some events where you actually get some money to spend as part of your admission to the event. And I think I did see potentially one sometimes, but it's just schedule and age range. But I know Flair also has like these mixer, some kind of interactive class thing too. It seems like since I checked out the speed dating that they didn't, they've branched out a little more where they have speed dating for, straight or gay or lesbian, depending on what demographic you're in. And then they seem to have a little more interactive ones too. But I'm going to say it depends on the mood I'm in. I feel it would be the more personal to do the speed dating to get reps in, but the mingle thing was just fine, just something to get out of the house, do something different. That's what most people did say, that were there, that they were just doing it just for something to do that night for the weekend and just to get out of the house. And I mean, these things are stuff we've gotten a lot more popular now that there isn't any more of these restrictions that we had a few years ago. But I just felt for this event, it felt more organized in terms of the agenda it was on. They all gave us name tags, which I thought I was going to see that with the speed date, or maybe had a number, because I remember when that speed dating event that had, we all were given a card for an icebreaker, and we all went around the room and answered said card to everybody, and then afterwards it was like, go pick a table and then we'll start rotating. And that just seemed unorganized that way. And I mean, this one seemed to be less structured but more open at the same time, given the nature. It was like kind of like going to a banquet or some kind of show or something, or exhibition, but all themed to it. I mean, I guess it takes out the awkwardness of meeting people, knowing that everyone in the room is kind of there for the same person, instead of just bumping into someone on the street. I mean, you can still theoretically meet someone anywhere. And did talk to some people that, they were kind of like just get out, feeling each other. I know I did talk to one person that was in a relationship and then didn't happen anymore, and they were a little on the older side, and then everyone seemed to kind of have the same thing with me, is it feels like it gets harder to meet someone as you get older. And then the other issue is that everyone's too busy and they have opposite schedules. But this is just, my review this time for a singles mingle event as opposed to actual speed dating. I mean, it's two totally different events, and there were definitely different hostess that were at this event. The one person that was leading it apparently was traveling and was only in Calgary for like 6 hours at the time, and then she did seem to like Calgary. A little tough she's there, but she seemed to have already been taken with another friend that was with Flair as well. But I think she was probably on the too young side for me anyway, just being realistic. But and then I asked if they knew about that person that I saw at the speed dating event that I went to junior high and high school in, it sounded like she's no longer with them anymore. But people move on, not too sure how much you make working for these events. And at the end of the day, I still think it's a crapshoot at the, even with speed dating or a singles mingling event. I think some people say it's a good way to, as they say, put yourself out there, know yourself better. And I would say I feel doing the speed dating, the hostel, and then this, I feel like I've come a little out of my shell. I don't see myself still ever getting married, and I've come to peace with being single, but I still feel I need to have a little fun and go out there. And even then you hear stories of people saying that they weren't necessarily looking for the one, and then the one happened and got married. But I always got to say that I'm only just declining as time goes on as well. But I will see. Hopefully I can maybe do more of these events. Hopefully it's not like 10 months in between, but it worked out. I think I remember after going to that speed dating event the first time, I looked for the next ones that worked with my schedule, and I think there was one that was on a Sunday afternoon when it was still really close to Christmas. I think it wound up getting cancelled, and then I saw another one that was Sunday afternoon that still would have worked, even if I would have went, but I was sick at the time, and I'm thinking I definitely wouldn't get any matches if I showed up to a speed dating event sick and coughing at the time. And I said, this is something, although you hear it gets busier like after work, but that just doesn't work with my schedule to do it, Sunday to Thursday night. When it doesn't start till 7, and if you're there till 10 and then you're not going to get home until 11 and bed by midnight, well, that doesn't work for me on a regular work night, especially stage of my life I'm at right now. I know there was a few people that were thinking about possibly doing all the other activities, but that's where the older part of me comes in, where it's like you're already feeling like it's late, and by the time you get home, and I don't know. And actually, there was that one lady, I think she was already, that I mingled with, that I kind of always joke with, that if I do find that special someone, she'll be just as big or a bigger sports fan than me, and except be a fan of my rival teams. I did see one lady I had fun talking with. She was a big fan of my rival teams, but I think she seemed a little close with someone that was already there, and I'm not too sure if it was they were seeing each other or just come together. Or I mean, that's the other thing you hear with some of these events, that people come as groups too, and maybe they just want to do it just to mingle and get out and have some fun. But I'm going to say it's just the age difference as well. You never know how it can work. I did say the one person that I mingled with did say that they were seeing someone that had like a significant age gap, that's like 10 years, that eventually just didn't work. So like I say, I think the speed dating would be something I would do more for the actual formal dating thing. The mingle thing would just be something to go out and have even more of an open mind and just see what activities that the organizer has. But I'll definitely be back doing these again in the future. Just don't know when and where, but I'll make another video about it, reviewing it, if it's just the same company of Flair Events or someone else. So anyway, I want to close out. If you want to follow along this Calgary sports fans journey, just make sure you hit like, subscribe. I have my other social media links down in the description below. I'll just keep saying happy speed dating or singles mingling. But I guess that's one fun thing about being single, is I can plan to do these activities, and people say, oh, you're putting yourself out there, but I mean, you gotta put yourself out there just to have some fun and variety. And it's where the old saying goes, throw something on the wall, see if something sticks. Well, nothing has sticked yet with me, and I don't think I'm wired for that, but you never know. So it's just something you just can't really force or manufacture. But still gotta try, and I still think it's healthy for me to do it just to get out of my shell. So I just want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.